Hey everyone, so this is going to be the first of a two-part video, and it was a request by the lovely Tash, also known as Midnight fan page here on YouTube, and it's going to be her wedding this coming week, so she had requested a look for me to do for her. Now it's not really so much of a bridal makeup, I'm more treating it as a day friendly running into an evening makeup. So I'm going to first show you how to do this look in this video, and I'm also going to show you how to turn that into this look, which is more of a dramatic one for the evening time and with a red lip to start off with, and finally you'll get to see it with this kind of lip as well. So yeah, keep watching on for the tutorial guys. Thanks a million. So for your primer, I'm going to go for the number 7 Airbrush Away Primer. So this is one of your basic silicone based light diffusing primers, so it's really good for giving the illusion of, you know, evening out skin tone and fine lines and all that kind of stuff. So it's good for underneath makeup, and of course it'll really help with the slip of the makeup and the application of the makeup and how long it wears. So I just apply this mainly on the T-zone area. That's where I would get a little bit oily. I'm quite normal everywhere else around the outskirts of my face, and I really don't have any problem with makeup disappearing from this area, so I concentrate the most of it in the centre and then just brush whatever's left on my fingertips and smooth that around the edge. Okay, so unlike moisturiser, you don't really have to wait any amount of time after popping on your primer, so you can go ahead with your foundation straight away. One of my favourite concoctions of late is actually mixing two foundations. It's the Studio Fix Fluid by MAC mixed with the Face and Body by MAC. These are two really good foundations and I use them all the time on clients, but by themselves they don't suit me personally amazingly well. This is a really good one for normal combination to oily skin. It has silica powder in it and silicone, and it does keep shine at bay and all that, but I find it's a little bit dry looking on me, and it's quite a full coverage one, and it's a little bit more full coverage really than what I like to go for lately. Whereas this one is a little bit on the opposite end of the scale. Now this one is pretty much for all skin type, but if you're like the oiliest of oily, it may not be that suitable for you. It is waterproof or water resistant, so that is great for sweat and stuff like that, but you definitely need to combat oiliness underneath if you do have oily skin tone. But I found that the coverage of this isn't quite enough for my skin, because I am quite uneven. I have uneven tone on my skin, and I do have blemishes and stuff I want to conceal. I'm just going to mix those two together. Pump of the Studio Fix, and then always give your face and body a shake as well before you use it. You should probably do that with most liquid foundations, but definitely with the Face and Body. And it's the NC15 I am in the face, or in the Studio Fix, and then just a squirt of the Face and Body, and I'm C1 in Face and Body. I'm just going to mix the two of them on the back of my hand using the back of a brush, and using a flat top kabuki type brush I'm going to apply that to my face. So this is the Sedona Lace FB07, so that's the face brush, I think, 07. Because this is a buffing style brush, it may not suit people who are very dry skinned. So if you have quite dry skin and you're worried about flakes being raised, I would go for more of a traditional style brush and just brush down in the one direction so that you're not raising any flakes. Same with anyone who has very obvious or slightly more noticeable down hair on their face and is concerned about their hairs being raised from foundations or applying foundation. Again, you just want to use more of a paint style brush and brush down in one direction so you're not lifting the hairs. So for concealer, because this is a long-lasting makeup, I'm going to go for the Pro Longwear Concealer, which is brilliant. Again, this is by MAC, but it's really good for lasting all day. You want to be careful not to get too much out with the pump because it does tend to dispense quite a lot. And I'm going to use another Sedona Lace brush. Actually, it's the EB13, so the eye brush 13, and it's NW20 that I'm using under the eye. The reason I'm using the NW is because it is a pink toned foundation, or a pink toned colour. And pink is a little bit more brightening underneath the eye area. I get quite blue on the inner corner, so if I was to put the yellow toned concealers on top of that, it can get a little bit of a greenish cast. However, I do know some people who are quite more purple, way more purple red under the eye than blue, and in that case you can definitely go for a yellow tone concealer. For any blemishes and any redness on my face, I'm going to use my trusty Dermablend concealer, and this is the Vichy one. I think Dermablend are on their own in America, so it's not under the Vichy name. And I always just run that onto my hand first to warm the product up, and then use the same synthetic brush and pick it up on the brush This way I'm not really adding too much in one go. I just first pat it on any of the red areas, and then I can go ahead and blend it in once it's all laid down. A good habit to get into when doing a smoky eye is definitely to do it before you set the face. So I usually get to this stage of foundation where I have the foundation and concealer in place, but I'll go ahead and do the eyes. This allows for any little bit of fallout, and if there is any fallout, I can easily clean it away and just reapply a little bit of concealer and then go ahead and powder the face afterwards. So I'm going to apply some eyeshadow primer potion now, and this is by Urban Decay, and it's the one called Eden, which has a little bit of a tint to it, so it's pretty much skin coloured. And you can use your finger to blend that out, or the same concealer brush you used. For my main lid colour, I'm going to use this gorgeous kind of, it's like a really iridescent gold by Inglot, and it's the number 8 AMC Shine. It's one of my favourite iridescent gold colours, but it's not like too yellowy gold, and I think that's why I love it so much. So I'm just going to pick that up on a BH Cosmetics. This is just a generic eyeshadow brush, and pat that onto the moving part of my lid. Because I'm going shimmery on the lid, I'm actually going to go for more of a matte highlight. One of my favourite ones of the moment is this one here by MAC, and it's Mylar. It's just a really light linen type colour, like a really white cream. And I'm going to pop that just underneath the brow arch. You can bring it down a little bit because it'll act as a base for your darker colours to blend over. For my first crease colour, I'm going to go for Quarry by MAC, and I find it works really well as a blend out colour for purpley looks. I'm just going to run that back and forth in the crease. It's good to throw your head back so you can see better with the light, and I like to bring the crease colour up to my brow, the inner section of my brow. That's more just for my shape because my brows go down at such a strong angle. So again, I'm just using windshield wiper motions, which is just going back and forth in the crease, and every now and again I'll do circular motions up here underneath the intersection of my eyebrow, because I like when eyeshadow is quite intense in that area. So for my crease colour, I'm going to go for this guy here, and it is Sketch by MAC. This is one of my favourite purples. It's more of a winey colour. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm just going to pick that up on my blending brush, make sure it's kept to the tip of the brush. Apply that first where you want it to be most intense. So wherever you drop down your brush, that's where you're going to lay down the most or deposit the most colour. Just be aware of that. So don't just plonk it down in the middle first of all, because sometimes you can lay down too much. And then go back and forth in the crease and use whatever's left on the brush to blow out the colour. And for this look, I'm not actually bringing it down at all onto the eyelid. I'm going to just dip my brush back into Quarry for a second and run that just over that edge to help blow out the colour a bit. And I'm going to go back into my eyeshadow brush and pick up a little bit of Quarry on the very tip and run that underneath the lower lash lines. Because Quarry isn't too intense of a colour, it's not going to be really obvious. For my eyeliner, I'm going to use some of my Inglot gel eyeliner. This is the number 77. But as this can get a little bit dry sometimes as you're working with it, I'm going to mix some of the Inglot Duraline in with it to help make it a bit more fluid and make it go on much more smoother. So just a little, one drop on the back of your hand is what I usually do, and then mix a little bit of the gel in with it. And I'm just going to draw a quick but thin enough line above my lash line. And for this section of the look, I'm only going to do a really delicate small wing. Nothing too obvious. Once you have your eyeliner on, go ahead and apply mascara. I like to use a defining mascara for daytime. And I'm going to pop plenty of that onto the top lashes only for this first part of the look. So I'm using my Masterpiece Mascara by Max Factor. So once you've the eyes done, you can go ahead and apply a little bit of a brow powder or brow pencil to your eyebrows. I'm going to use this Sleek one by Sleek. I'm going to use this powder by Sleek, and it's their brow kit in the colour Light. And I apply the light brown powder through the first 2/3 of my eyebrows, so the main body part up to where I meet the arch. I'm using a flat definer brush here. This is the E15 by Sigma. Then once I've that much of my eyebrows done, I'm going to go into the slightly darker waxy side, and I'm going to use this to shape the tail and add a bit more definition, because I like the end of my eyebrows to be a tiny bit darker. It just gives a really nice effect. And then you can lightly run this then, just to keep the hairs in place. This way you don't have to apply a gel through the eyebrows, because this wax will help keep the eyebrows in place. So you've your eyebrows and eyes finished, go back into your concealer and fix up anything that may have darkened, or if there's been any fallout. There's been absolute minimal fallout here, but it's no harm to just go over the area a tiny bit. So to set my base with, I'm going to go into this Catrice powder, and it's in their Skin Finish. It's a mattifying powder, and it's in number 10 transparent. This is super cheap and cheery, but I'm actually really impressed by it. I have been wearing it a lot lately. I'm just going to lightly apply this mainly on the T-zone area, where I tend to get most shiny. I'm just going to block my lips at this stage so I can apply some lip primer, and this will allow the lip primer to set by the time I'm finished my cheeks. And it's the MAC Prep and Prime lip. I don't really know of any other lip primers, to be honest. I apply this lightly over the entire lip and also lightly around the edge. This helps to stop any bleeding later on with lipstick throughout the day. For my blush for daytime, I'm going to apply this lovely one by Sleek Makeup, and it's in the colour Suede. It was from their nude collection. I'm just going to pick it up on the same brush I used to powder, which is my MAC 131 brush, and apply it just around the cheek area. Don't want it to be too heavy, since it is much more of a day look I'm going for. So for my lips, I'm going to use my Inglot lip liner in number 859, which is a really lovely nude, light nude colour. And this lip liner comes with a lip brush on the other end, which is dead handy. I'm going to use that to apply my MAC Viva Glam number 2 lipstick, sorry, which is a lovely pink based nude. It's not far off the lip liner colour. I love this for daytime looks. So this is the completed day look makeup. If you want to go ahead and see how to bring this on to nighttime to make it a bit more dramatic and see it with a red lip or a pink lip, so there will be 2 different lips at the end of the next video, you can just click around here. There's going to be a link to it, and there'll also be a link to it below. But I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Thanks a million for watching, and I'll chat to you all really soon. Slán!